President Joe Biden has apparently done the unthinkable.
Oh no!
Pardoning his son, Hunter. Now, in September of this year, the younger Biden, who had dealt with addiction and doing some crime, was convicted on 3 felony tax offenses as well as 6 misdemeanor violations of the tax code. And earlier in the same year, he was found guilty on 3 felony gun-related charges having to do with how he filled out a gun ownership registration. Now, of course, Republicans jumped all over that. Wait, I thought they were for more gun ownership, less gun regulation, but apparently fill out a registration form for a gun while you're on drugs. Apparently you can't do that. It's kind of funny because, wait a minute, they don't have problems with people out in the country, like drinking and shooting off their shotguns. So I don't understand why they would have an issue with Hunter Biden other than the fact that he is, his last name. Anyway, now the charges in Hunter's criminal cases, said President Biden in a White House statement, quote, came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. No, I know, shocker, right? According to the statement, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he's my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter. Oh, yes, definitely on that. I mean, what else can you call Marjorie Taylor Greene constantly trotting out stolen pictures from a laptop of a naked Hunter Biden in the middle of Congress, making congressional hearings all about Hunter's wang? I mean, what else do you call that other than an effort to break Hunter and his father? Now he continues by saying, there's been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. Look, he's right about that. Okay, and here's the thing: it's not because I like Joe Biden or even like Hunter Biden, okay, or that I'm dismissing his crimes at all. Look, lying on a form to get a gun, it's actually very rarely taken to trial. Okay, generally you get a plea agreement, right? Now, the last time this made headlines was back in 2019 against rapper Kodak Black. Okay, for the tax charges, what rich person hasn't tried to do tax evasion? Honestly, in fact, Trump says, well, if you don't pay your taxes, that makes you a smart person. So, look, again, crime, right? Not a good thing. Thing about Hunter Biden is he repaid the government. Okay, and so, yeah, I mean, yes, he did crimes. And the prosecution against him, though, kind of government motivated. Okay, politically motivated. That said, there's some people that are rightly criticizing Joe Biden because he did say, hey, I promise to stay out of the prosecution. Okay, he lied about that, obviously. Yeah, of course, right? But again, this is not really a surprise to me. Okay, turns out Joe Biden has lied about quite a few things in his lifetime. Wow. Oh, politicians lie. Shocker. Now, look, though, to be fair, I think most people that are in his position, President of the United States, would do the same thing. Use their power to keep their kids out of prison. Especially since one of the reasons that they're in that position, other than the fact that they, yes, did do crime, is because people wanted to come after you for being president. Okay? That said, I'm not disputing that Hunter Biden didn't break the law, and I'm not disputing the fact that it's a bit hypocritical of Joe Biden, who was the crime bill guy who put away a lot of people, allowed a lot of people's children to go to prison, okay, is saying, well, not my kid. Hey, that's fair criticism. I know, people don't like it, but it's fair criticism. Now, that said, of course, Republicans are going to just completely freak out. They're going to rage over this pardon and then say ridiculous things. Let's start with President-elect Donald Trump, who said this. Does a pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been in prison for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Wait, hold on. As I mentioned before, the Hunter Biden case, mainly political, right? He should have been able to plead down. Most people with those cases are able to plead, okay? There was a plea deal that got blown up by a Trump judge, okay? And so, yeah, and not only that, but there was massive political pressure by Republicans to go after Hunter Biden because of the cases against Donald Trump. Now, that said, the January 6 cases, those were not political. A lot of the people that went to prison for that had to go because they were convicted of violence, of doing vandalism to the Capitol. All right, stealing podiums, crapping all over the place, literally, and smearing it all over the walls, attacking police officers. Okay, that's the stuff that they were put in prison for. Okay, now the people that were there that were only guilty of trespassing, which is still a crime, right? They didn't get very long prison sentences at all, if any. Okay, now if you can't see the difference here between the J6 stuff, especially the violent ones there, and Hunter Biden, that's because you don't want to. Now, there's more MAGA outrage, though, coming from people like James Comer, who said, Joe Biden has lied from the start to finish about his family's corrupt influence peddling activities, of which he has absolutely no evidence of. Not only has he falsely claimed that he never met with his son's foreign business associates and that his son did nothing wrong, but he also lied when he said he would not pardon Hunter Biden. Oh, you got him. Comer then also called the charges against Hunter the tip of the iceberg. Here we go. That's setting up the next 4 years of nonstop nonsense investigations, of wasting time instead of, I don't know, maybe doing your job and trying to lower prices. Oh, you know they're not going to do that. They're not going to do any damn such thing. No, they're going to cut taxes for themselves. We know that this is about distract people with more Hunter Biden nonsense. Shocker. Or, Biden nonsense. But anyway, Comer, it's important to note that Comer's investigation into both the president and his son's finances resulted in no recommended charges for either Biden. It's because they didn't have the evidence. No evidence at all. But there's more. Representative Jim Jordan said Democrats said there was nothing to our impeachment inquiry. And they can still say that because there's nothing to the impeachment inquiry. If that's the case, why did Joe Biden just issue Hunter Biden a pardon for the very things we were inquiring about? No, it was for the gun and the tax evasion. That was what but oh my God. You know what's funny about that, right? This actually, the pardon allows Republicans now to call Hunter Biden in to testify to whatever nonsense schemes that they're talking about. And you know what? He wouldn't have Fifth Amendment protections. Why? Well, because there would be nothing for him to incriminate himself on. I mean, he's already been pardoned. So, of anything related to this. So, doesn't really make any sense. Now, there's more. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who sat on the Oversight Committee, had insisted that this pardon was, quote, an admission of guilt on behalf of Hunter Biden, of which he already, he was going to take a plea deal. That's also an admission of guilt. Oh, okay. But anyway, if that's the case, though, right, then wouldn't the pardoning of the J6 people, which Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to do, Donald Trump says he wants to do it on day one, wouldn't that be an admission of their guilt? If that's what we're talking about here. Another person would be Dinesh D'Souza, who also was pardoned by Donald Trump. Yeah. And who also criticized this, right? That said, it's not just MAGA that's criticizing this, which is obvious. Of course, that's what they do. There's also certain Biden supporters that are clutching their pearls. Now, a lot of them happen to be anti-Trump Republicans, and they think that they're going to be making a very smart, nuanced, whatever argument against this. Charlie Sykes, for example, he said, "Smart person texts me. Joe Biden has just removed the issue of pardons from the political arena for the next 4 years, and Trump probably once again can't believe his dumb effing luck at this point. Sadly, I think he's right." Are you sure that's a smart person that texted you? Just saying. You honestly think that Donald Trump wasn't going to pardon whomever he wants, whenever he wants, anyway? This is a guy who doesn't believe in norms? There's more. Joe Walsh said, "This is utter BS. Just plain wrong and stupidly selfish. Shame on you. For you've given Trump license to now to dole out favors to his family and wealthy friends. And when he does, you've given his supporters the opportunity to say everyone does it. And by the way, Biden, you lied." Yeah, he lied. He lied. That's true. That said, what was stopping Donald Trump from doing any of that before? He doesn't need a license or permission. You think MAGA cares about hypocrisy? Do you? No, they don't. Oh my God. Okay. Then you had centrists like Chris Cillizza, who called the move, quote, "colossally selfish," while Nate Silver accused the White House of lying about the pardon. Hey, both things can be true. He did lie about the pardon. Fair. Now, here's the thing, though, okay? You want to call him a hypocrite? Totally agree. You want to say he lied about the pardon? Totally agree with you, right? And this just kind of underscores what I had been saying about Biden for all along. Back in 2020, for example, when he was running, I was like, Joe Biden is not the guy to take on MAGA. He is not the man for the moment. Got too much baggage, okay? He keeps proving it over and over and over again. And so for me, like the whole idea that, these very same centrists, by the way, and anti-Trump Republicans keep bringing up is, well, he's going to play by the rules, right? And that's going to beat MAGA. Turns out, no, that's not how that works. He expected Republicans to come to their senses, right? The majority of Republicans. It's this old Obama, the fever is going to break mentality. No, the fever ain't never going to break. Because turns out, ain't a fever, it's who they are, right? Republicans have always been like this. Thing is, the rule of law didn't stop Donald Trump because rich and powerful people, turns out they wrote those rules. To benefit whom? Rich and powerful people. Like themselves. The system is rigged in their favor, not in ours. And that's very important to remember. Okay? So I gotta ask those people, it's really shocking, though, that Biden, who is also rich and powerful, can also use those same rules to pardon his son, in effect did so. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. I think that, if you were paying attention, you would have seen this one coming. That's what it feels like to me. All right. And so, and if it were, look, if it were Trump, he would have done the same thing if it were Jared Kushner or if it were Don Jr. or Eric. No, they would have done the same thing because it doesn't matter. If you have the power, you give people this power, they're going to use it. If anything, this should show everybody that, hey, we've got this two-tiered system of justice in this country where if you have wealth and power, you're going to get away with it. I think that's the real takeaway here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.